Hello everyone, Samantha here, and this is my video for eclipse season as well as my weekly Ascension update for September 16th to 22nd. So we're heading into eclipse season and there's two eclipses, one in September and one in October, and they're ushering in great enlightenment, inner fire, and motivation. So really to assist us on the next stage of our soul's growth and highest purpose. It's time for a new cycle, and this cycle is starting to unfold bit by bit. So we're required to have extra patience right now as the universe lines up the people, places, and circumstances that align with our energy and our soulful path. So please be patient if you're feeling like you just want things to get going and you want to move on, or you're having trepidation for that as you know somehow that things are changing. Just know the universe is supporting you to move on with the least amount of struggle if you allow it. So as I mentioned in my September monthly video, you're in the process of accessing this throat chakra for higher creation. It's shifting, okay? All up in here, we've been shifting quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. And this creative energy is being activated as we move through the first eclipse gateway. It's rising from the sacral area in the hips and the pelvis up through the throat chakra, where it can be translated into sacred sound and energy and manifest out into the 3D world in your everyday life. So you are creating your life whether you know it or not, or whether you want to take responsibility for it or not. So thoughts, words, and actions are becoming much more stronger for us again. So it's important to be mindful. And this is your part in the process. Our part in the process is that we are mindful of this. We have awareness. We are working on self-mastery and acting on intuitive guidance, taking inspired action when we feel the nudge from the universe and our higher selves. Now, you may question whether you're actually making progress or going in the right direction, or whether you're even receiving signs at this point. But it's important just to wait then, to just really not take the reins and want to make something happen. This is not the time to do that. We are learning to let go of control. Okay. We are learning to be in the flow of the universe and divine creation. And this is the way to do it, is to be receptive and to receive. So especially if you don't see a way out of your situation at this point, it's important to just allow the universe to support you, to put your prayers and intentions and desires out there, but allow the universe to manifest it in the right time and in the right way that needs to be done as you go forward. Because in this way, you will not repeat old patterns. Okay. You won't repeat the past. The universe is really supporting us to do that, and with the least amount of struggle, as I said. So the first eclipse coming up here is September 17th. It's a super full moon in Pisces and is a partial lunar eclipse. So that lunar energy is a feminine energy that really brings in that sublime feminine creative energy more for us as that rises up here through that throat chakra, as we learn to speak our truth and to put out into the world balance, our gifts, how we can be of service to others, so that we feel we have a purpose. So all of that's coming together for us as we move through this important gateway. And then October 2nd, we have a new moon in Libra and an annular solar eclipse. Now, this will bring in that masculine energy and more balance for us in our lives, that giving and receiving, more abundance. That's what we're looking for, as we're in this new abundance timeline I've been talking about this year. Plus, we also have the September 22nd equinox, which brings in more harmony, balance, and wholeness again. So we have a lot of support from these gateways in terms of the coding that's coming through that will allow us to move forward in this new cycle. So your part in this is if you're willing to embrace the challenges and opportunities that come in this next cycle, as well as release the self-doubt that you may have, any insecurity, that you can actually handle this and that you'll be able to move through it with grace and grit, so to speak. Okay. And that way, if you do that, then you can really propel yourself forward with the least amount of struggle. So it's time to really move on and leave fear and ego resistance behind on any level in whatever way you are moving forward in the coming year. The universe is advancing us this way, whether we like it or not. Humanity is growing in consciousness by leaps and bounds. And we really are dreaming and manifesting a new life into being and a new world into being, this new earth. And this is where we understand and really live our divine wholeness. And we transcend the lower ego driven desires and hedonism of our current society and awaken to deeper spiritual truths, to wisdom that governs the universe, that guides us, that supports us, that nurtures us. And therefore, we can live more in peace and love and abundance. Now, this coming week, which is September 16th to 22nd, we're going to go through this first eclipse gateway, September 17th. And the cosmic energies are really exceptional as we go through this full moon and eclipse. We already had this last week, 2 X-class solar flares. We had a CME, a number of M-class flares, and geomagnetic storms that heightened and cleared us, taking us to a whole new level again so that we can pull in this coding and create differently, create in a way that's going to support us to really strengthen our root chakra. Okay. And the sun's activity was very persistent and will continue to be as we go through till the end of 2025. And as this happens, we are just sweeping away this dense residue of the past in our field and the psyche in the body. And so that we get more clarity and new awareness that supports us as we go forward. Now, for Ascension symptoms, you can go look at my September Ascension Energies update on my website that I have. However, I did mention this month that we were going to have a lot more immune issues, be very fatigued, tight shoulders and neck, a lot shifting in here. We have a chakra back here, which is essentially the Ascension chakra. It's the mouth of God, literally, for us as we shift and bring in new awareness. So a lot is going on in here. We have achiness, headaches, dreaming and sleep issues. Again, there's going to be a lot up and down there for us as we work things out in other timelines. A lot of grieving as we let go, okay, and old soul memories coming up. And that's okay. We're letting that all go and moving on. It must all come up for us to see, and any more shadow, so that we can fully move out of that karmic patterning and that residue and move on. And you are moving on. I may not feel that way sometimes, and this can be very tough, but you are moving on. Okay, so just know that and stay above it as best you can. So let's take a look at this week's reading and the archetypes and the plant allies that you're able to draw strength and wisdom and guidance from. Okay, so we have an archetype this week, which is the lover. It's a 4-chakra archetype. We also have another heart chakra card, Zinnia. We have 2 5th chakra cards. We have Red Clover and Russian flower. And then we have 2 6th chakra, Oxeye Daisy and Viburnum. So we're working on that 4th, 5th, 6th. So all up in this area this coming week as we shift. Now, the archetype, the lover, is about heart-centeredness and interdependence. So we're moving away into this new way of living that really requires us to live from the heart, okay? So that we can find limitless peace and that we can really feel that we have purpose here without being taken down by the chaos of the outside world. Stay very focused. This is a complete rebirth for us as we move through this first eclipse gateway. And so this week there may be more forgiveness needed for yourself, okay? And it may be needed for others as this coding comes through the eclipse to upgrade us. So we can really sit in more of that interdependence instead of codependence. This is about bringing in more co-creation between ourselves and others. And this really helps us feel more empowered in who we are and why we're here when we have this interdependence, and what our gifts and talents are, and where we can go and whom we can support with our acts of service. Okay, so as this flow of heart-centered living moves through us and that love comes through us, we can equally give and take, as I said, in the new abundance timeline. We also then manifest the abundance and prosperity that we need for ourselves. Okay. So this week, the heart is clearing immensely again so that we can prepare ourselves for the next stage of our spiritual evolution in this way. Because as we go into the next year in 2025, we're going to be learning to live completely through the heart. So watch for any reactivity or identifying with the mind in situations, okay, where you get pulled into the past, which will cause you to react or be triggered from a place of ego or fear, entitlement, or hurt. This is the time to detach and breathe. Yes, breathing and not take things personally when you feel threatened. And then one can feel the world, if they do, they'll feel threatened, then is cruel and unsafe. But if you don't, then you really can feel like all is good and you are moving through life with grace and ease. So this is a time to be courageous and really examine your motives, okay? Shift to acceptance and forgiveness when needed. So that is the Lover for this week. And then we have Zinnia, which is the green card, and that is the fourth chakra. Again, about that lightheartedness I was talking about, living through the heart, being in light, finding the perspective needed to see a lighter or funnier side of your situation this week or your life as you move through it. This is about as well being really detached from that self, meaning we're not over identifying with the earthly self and being over serious. Okay. So this helps us as we do that to release stagnant energy and any rigid perspectives that can block our path from moving forward with more joy and inspiration and passion. And the affirmation for Zinnia is, I choose to see the humor in my current situation as best you can anyway. Okay, and then we move on to the fifth chakra. We have two fifth chakra plant allies supporting us this week. We have red clover, which is upside down. It affects the throat area. And a plant ally of the prophet archetype, which is one of this month's archetypes that I talked about in my monthly video. It is about self-expression and effective communication. So all of this is shifting within us, and the sense of interdependence is shifting so that we can move into co-creation and we don't repeat the same things that we did before in our relationships. Even if those relationships may look and feel the same a bit and we're getting a bit triggered, the idea is if we move forward and who comes through us and to us, or the current relationships we're in, we are going to be shifting enough, okay, so that we move into more co-creation. So I also said we would be using our voice more and therefore stating our needs and putting in practice our boundaries. So that's where you will feel called to do that as you move through these gateways and into more co-creation. So keep doing that as needed with conscious awareness on how you do it during these intense energies, okay? As things come to the surface, as we go through these gateways, go through this week to be healed. And the affirmation for red clover is, I communicate with my full potential. Now, passion flower showed up in this week's reading. And I also mentioned that this is a plant spirit ally for the month in my monthly reading. I love when it shows up when I do the weekly readings. And it again impacts the fifth chakra and the throat. And it's a plant ally of the muse. And it's about rewriting old stories and claiming our power as the creator of our life. Okay, so this cosmic or alien type blossom that shows up in passion flower, and I actually bought my passion flower plant in today to show you in the video. Ta-da! This is a passion flower blossom. It's amazing. It looks like literally a cosmic dish that's tapping into the universe. It's a beautiful plant. Vine, and this helps us to rewrite our stories. Okay, it really helps us calm that destructive monkey mind, and so that we can shift out of old habits of thinking. And that's what's happening as we move through these gateways. So you may be feeling a little bit going on in here as you're sorting through things and your brain is rewiring. And it is, because the cosmic coding is going to help with that. And as we change our stories, we change our life, right? That's how it works. We change stories, we change our lives. So that's just how it works. And as we change our lives, we realize we are weavers of our own fate, and we can tell new stories and potentially change the direction, of course, of our karmic patterning. And yes, we will be to our new soul blueprint destiny. So passion flower really encourages you to align with the song of your soul, to weave a new destiny for yourself. and become conscious of your ability to create your own reality and release that limiting thinking about your overall potential so you can step into your true potential. So Passion Flower says, I am passionately connected to my purpose. Thank you. All right. And then we move on to the sixth chakra, and we have Oxeye Daisy. That is sixth chakra, brow head area here. And this plant ally is about balanced or new perspective. So this week, continue to work to shift your perspective on those situations that are concerning you or you're getting triggered in. Really sit with that, as I said, as you're processing emotions that come up, especially if they're linked to scarcity, lack, safety, security, okay, fear, anything along those lines. You're starting fresh. You are rebirthing. You're wiser. Your intuition is sharpening. You're more discerning now. So trust yourself that you will create with spirit the highest possible outcome for yourself. And at the same time, see any pitfalls, okay, and warnings or red flags. That's oxidizing. So this will help you move to a new level of living and perception. So the affirmation is, I am willing to see things differently. And know that you'll feel that going on in your brain. Okay. And then lastly, we have viburnum. Viburnum, again, upside down, sixth chakra, brow head. And this is part of the sage archetype. This is about clarity, intuition, confidence. So you're still wobbly in that area, but working on it. Know that you're bridging that. And as you go through the eclipses in the rest of this year, you're going to get stronger and stronger. Okay. We're still trying to hear things from the universe, figure out where we go from here, tune in and hear your truth. What are the next steps for you? Who are you going to draw in? You know, is that the right way? Is it so? There's still a lot going on here that needs to work out. And as I said, it's time to be patient as we go through this first eclipse gateway in particular. So hang in there and don't give up and don't try to force the outcome. So much more illumination is coming to propel you forward and on your path, particularly as we go into October. So the affirmation for viburnum is, I move forward with clarity and confidence. So that's my reading for this week and about the eclipse gateways. This builds on my September monthly update. So please take a look at that. You'll get more in-depth overview of what's going on and what you'll be experiencing and can be mindful and work with. So a big hug from Passion Flower and I. And I thank you for watching and commenting and journeying with me. Please like and subscribe. If this speaks to you, send it on to others. I really appreciate it. And you. I'm sending you a galaxy of love, and I will see you next week.